Good morning, YouTube! Welcome back to my channel. My name's Adriana. If you guys don't know me, I am a game developer at the Creative Assembly. We are a division of Sega and we work on the awesome Total War game. Also, if you've ever heard of Alien Isolation, we've worked on that title as well. And we have Halo Wars in production too, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Last week, I asked you guys a question, and that was, what would you ask a game developer? I got so many questions that I decided to split that video into two parts. So this is part 2 of that video. Shall we get to it? For our first question, this comes from Yukari, and she asks, how did you get started working as an animator, and what skills did you need to have? So I went to school for animation, but I went to school for traditional animation. So the skills that I needed for that might be different from what one of my team members might have needed to get into the industry. You don't need good drawing skills to get a good 3D animation job. However, you do need a good 3D animation reel to get a job in the industry as an animator, of course. My first job was actually an internship with Disney, and that was in Brighton in the UK. That studio worked on the game Split Second. It's like a racing game. Though whenever I was there, I was doing some pre-development stuff, animation that never got out there, the project never went forward, and unfortunately they shut down. I went back to school to finish my final year, and then after that I just started applying places that I really liked their work. The Creative Assembly got back to me and I thought, oh my gosh, this is an amazing opportunity. So I flew over from Canada to the UK to start my first job in the industry, and I'm still here because I love it. She also asks, what kind of tasks do animators do on a day-to-day basis? So usually in the morning we will come in and first things first, usually catch up on some emails that might have been sent overnight, or in the morning if some other people got in before you and had some things to say. We then fetch a new build, so that means any changes that went into the game the night before gets kind of built up, so you would have to grab that version so that you can see the latest changes to the game. Then we usually have a stand-up, and a stand-up is basically where we gather around with production and we go through our tasks with production, tell them how much time we need or have left on a task, and we iron out any issues there with other team members, if there's anything that was blocking them or anything that went wrong or anything that might need to be discussed in further depth later that day. After this, I will usually go around to my team's desk, review their work, give them some pointers, and give them some advice going forward for that day. Then I will return to my desk. I will either start my animation tasks for myself, or I will have other meetings. My role is a little bit different. It's a little bit more management than the typical animator. The typical animator will usually get to their desk, start animating. After they've animated, they will export that animation to the game, process it, and then use a tool to add any extra metadata to that animation. And metadata is basically these little tags that we add to our animation so that the game knows kind of what to do for that animation. For example, with an attack, we will add a impact position metadata to the middle of the swipe so that the game knows that, hey, at this point, it will make contact against the other character. After we do all that, we launch the game, we test our animations. If they're great, then we submit it. If they're not, we go back and we make any tweaks that we need to tweak. Sometimes those tweaks involve code changes, and that's when we will get up to collaborate with the coders to iron out any issues. Argenta asks, do I need a degree to be an animator, or would improving myself in software like 3ds Max and Maya be enough? This is a great question because there is quite a lot of controversy on whether you need a degree or not to be a good animator. Honestly, I would say no. You do not need a degree to be a great animator. However, school gives you a lot of opportunity to improve your work if you go to a good animation school. I find that if you do find a good animation school. It can be very beneficial to go to improve your skills because you have that environment around you that you can ask questions, get feedback all the time, though you don't need to go to school to improve yourself in 3ds Max or Maya. There are plenty of websites out there. I can link some in the description below for you. A lot of these sites is kind of like a community where other animators are there and they can help you out, give you some feedback, and help you improve your work that way. I will say, however, going to school to get a degree is very helpful if you want to move countries. When you are looking to get a visa to work in another country, a degree will actually count towards the point system that the government will use in order for you to qualify working in that other country. I don't think I would have been able to move over to the UK if it were not for my degree. So in that respect, it is very useful. I would say it's basically up to you. However, the number one thing that you do need is just a good animation reel. Nothing else matters as much as the work that you're actually able to produce. Next question, Nick Wild asks, as a lead animator, do you therefore have a team of animators working with yourself? How is managing that along with your parts of the project? Yes, I do have a team of animators working with me. I find balancing my parts of the project with my management parts, actually it's pretty okay. That's why we do the scoping from the beginning, so that we can fit in time for management and time for our individual tasks as well. Arsenic asks, being an animator, do you work a little with mocap stuff? How does this work? This is a juicy question. I do work with mocap. The Creative Assembly actually has their own mocap studio very close by to the main studio. That comes in handy when we are doing an animation and realize, hey, this might be much quicker if I just jumped in the suit and did some actions myself, or hire an actor to perform those actions that would have taken much longer and might not have even looked as great by doing it by hand key. I have been in the suit myself before, and let me tell you, it is much more work than it seems. By the time the session is done, you are sweating. No lie, even if you're only in the suit for a couple hours, you are usually sore the next day. It's great fun, but it also is a lot of work. Lastly, are there any things that you prefer to animate over others? Anything that you simply hate to animate? Honestly, I love it all. I answered this in the previous video that I'll link down below. I just love characters. Even inanimate objects, bringing them to life is so cool. Facial animation, awesome. Mocap animation, awesome. Crazy creatures, awesome. I just think that animation is great and I love my job. So hopefully this video inspired you guys to get your foot into the game industry, and hopefully this also gave you some insight into what it's like to be an animator for games. If you liked this video, let me know in the comments down below, and if you have something that you would like to ask me, please let me know in the comments down below as well, because I would love to answer your questions. That's all for this video, and I hope you guys liked watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'll catch you guys later.